laws or index law. The practice question looks pretty complicated, but actually it's not that hard to finish it. Okay, so let me show you some examples about indexes laws, how to apply the rules. The first example here is x power of 8 times x power of 2. So what is that equals to? We apply the first rule here. Okay, a power of m times a power of n is equal to a power of m plus n. So you just add the power, that's it. Alright. When the base is the same, which is x, you just need to add the power. Become x power of 10. Done. Next, x power of 4 and then power of 3. So that is the example of rule number 2. If that is the case, what should we do? We just need to write down the base and then times the power together. Okay. Write down the base and times the power together. So 4 times 3 is 12. Alright, so hopefully you can differentiate the differences between example 1 and example 2. It looks like both are multiplication, but only example 1 is multiplication. Example 2 is another power, okay, outside the bracket. So pretty different. Alright, next example 3, division. So x8 divided by x2 we're going to apply property 3, that is exactly the same thing. So what is the result? Is the base power of bracket top minus the bottom power. Okay, the base is x and then top minus the bottom power. 8 take 2 is 6. That's it. Right, next one. 2x bracket power 4. It looks like 2, but that's another component. So we would go for property 4 here. Okay, here is just a and with the power of it, but this example is got 2 components like 2x, okay, and both with power of 1, and outside the bracket that's another power. Okay, so what should I do here? Apply the power into both components. Okay, oops, my bad, that should be m. Is that n? Okay, so 2 power 4 times x power 4. If you want to find what is 2 power 4, 2 power 4 is nothing more than 16. X4, done. Yep, so, okay. In case you don't know what is 2 power 4 is, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 times. So that's why it's 2 power of 4. Example 5. 3 over y power of 2. So basically when you see the power outside the bracket, you just apply the power inside each. So become a power of m divided by b power of m. That's it. Okay. So 3 power of 2 divided by y square 9 over y square. That's it. Example 6. X power of minus 5. So, okay, here is negative power. What should we do with negative power? Some cases that I think the question wants you to express your final answer into positive power instead of negative power. So what can you do? Basically, we apply rule number 6. So if you have negative power, you make it to in this case, you make it to denominator, and then it will change the power. So explain a little bit more. Basically, what is that? Is a power of minus m divided by 1. Okay, is equal to 1 over a power of m. So if you want to make it to positive or change the sign of the power, you just need to swap. Okay, swap that thing into the opposite side. Because here is the top, so I swap to the bottom, then it will become positive power in this case. Okay, so all right, same case as here. If I want to make positive power, here is nothing more than x power of minus 5 divided by 1. I put the whole thing to the bottom, so the sign will become positive instead of negative. That's it. I haven't introduced a very good example of rule number 7, but it's pretty easy to understand. Rule number 7 is if anything power of 0 must be 1. Okay, so for example, if x power of 0 is 1, y power of 0 is also 1, so on and so forth. Right, so if you can understand the example, the previous examples, you should be able to do this question. Recommend you to pause the video for, I don't know, 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Once you finish this question, you can play back the video again and check the answers. Right, so the answer for this question, first of all, if I were you, what should I do? I need to get rid of this outside bracket power. So how can I get rid of this outside bracket power? I'm going to apply rule number 4 and also rule number 2. Okay, they are pretty much the same thing or the combination. So starting from 4, because outside power times into each component inside the bracket, and then because not all of them power of 1, so basically we need to apply the second rule here. Okay, you will see what's going on. Right, so for instance, I apply the 3 into each component. So I have x 2 times 3, y 2 times 3, z 5 times 3. Okay, do the same thing for the other terms. And then I have the second slot, x squared y power of 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Divide the whole thing by x 8 y, oh sorry, z 8 times 2 is 16. Okay, okay, I finish this part first. So simplify it, 6 y 6 z 15. Okay, right, So what's the next thing? Next thing is to deal with the top part here, because top part, you need to perform the multiplication. Okay, so I like to deal with the multiplication first and then do the division. It's only my own preference. Okay, it's not necessary to do it in this way. So, okay, collect the terms. So x term, you have x6 times x power 2, 6 plus 2. Why is that? Because the rule number 1 saying, okay, am times an, the same term, then you just need to add the power, that's it. Same thing for y. So y is 6 plus 8. Z is nothing on this side, so just copy it, z power 15 over, nothing change for the denominator, so just copy it. 6 plus 2 is 8 times y 14 z 15, oops, divide by x 8 z 16. Division. Okay, same base, which is x, you can do the division. How to do that? Subtract. Okay, because that is rule number 3. And then y component is nothing at the denominator, so just copy y14, z 15 take 16. Right, in other words, I have x power 0, y power 14, z power of minus 1. To simplify that, okay, x power of 0 is 1 times y 14 times z power of minus 1. I need to make it positive power, so it will become that. In other words, your final answer should be y14 divided by z. Okay, because that times that, you move the whole thing to the top, basically. Okay, so that is your final answer. Hopefully that would help you to understand a bit more about indexes law. It's not that difficult. Okay, thank you very much for watching the video.